Up to currently, James Arthur has constructed his career on ballads. Of his X-Element Solitary, a lid of Chantel's Unfeasible, to the world break hit Say You Win T Let Go, the artist has proven he can tug on yours heartstrings, love a pup on a mailman's pants. Such sluggish tempo weepies are the ultimate fit for his cracked and exhausted vote. But the celebrity would love it to be named same's got a few more than engineering up his hose. I'm start to sense love human beings aware which to wait of me, he says. If you go and see my shows, I'm all above the phase. We do grunge, we do sermon, we do R&B, but the songs how duet on the wireless are the acoustical, sincere ballads. I'm start to sense the encourage to branches out and do several material how no would wait. And passionate circulation to a unwilling boyfriend, Arthur's vocals are raw and sensitive as he please, I'm hard to do it precise / how receive part of you fair ain't quite. The 29-year-old written the chant in Swedish pop pivot Max Martin, who floated in and of the workshop, supposedly in among manufacturing hit accounting records for Taylor Rapid and Lana Del Rey. In the way of contemporary piece of music, although the chant was initially designed for pop celebrity Zara Larsson, Arthur came on board. They had a choir how I believe they were pitched to her at one spot, says the artist. Yet later they play it to me and they mind, how pleasant would it be if it was a man artist making a sensitive item love how. So we de-wrote it and done it suitable me. I put the sermon medium 8 in where I was rather lucky in how the chant is grounded to go in the top 10 the 1 week edition, else head to Arthur's wonderful story of restoration and repayment. End of YouTube position by James Avevo. Unborn in Redcar, Teesside, in 1988, he had a uneasy infancy following his mom, a pattern and sale vocational, breakup of his supply motorist dad. I don't believe I was the simplest kid to see following, he after wrote in his memoir. I don't aware if I in fact had ADHD, focus deficiency hyperactive disturbance, but allows fair say I was really energetic. While he was 9, his mom remarried and the household excited to Bahrain. There, the young man flourished, manufacturing new friends and winner his at first sing part in a high school manufacture of Pirates of Penzance. But lifetime came breaking about his ears while his mom and move father dissolved. Following using a lifetime of opulence in the Medium East, he excited behind to Redcar, he telephone call it a tatter to riches and behind to tatter story, and ended up in a course high school wherever sing and performance were frowned on. Irate and disappointed, he begun to skip classes, and ended up possessing main rows in his household, occasionally a sleep course following creature kicked out of the building. Ultimately, he took oneself out of the image and went willingly in encourage thoroughness. It was a bit terrible, he says. I lived in a dame someone d undertaken up encourage family and they were ever quite uneasy guys where was a lot of stress since thou d be fight a lot and looking above yours arm. And I fair requested to be behind in my sisters and my household. Yet it perhaps hardened me up in a nice path. I learnt the importance of household via how. It was time he was in encourage thoroughness how Arthur learned oneself guitar and begun to fill several of his frustrations in piece of music. I've been a exhausted heart, he says. I've been via a lot of emotional pain so I certainly put how in my piece of music he's wherever I courier it the top. How's the item I trust on the largest? He united few bands, Traceless, Moon Driving, The Emerald Sky, and though written his own EP as the James Arthur Draft in 2012. But it was the X-Element how done his behalf. Arthur's parent reunited for the at first period in 20 year to look his listening, yet, in retrospective, he was perhaps not suitable to the blood pressure of competitive in a fact episode. Following the other dwell shot, he incurred an concern assault backroom and had to be purified by paramedics. Though he went on to win the episode, successful took a duty on his psychological public health, and he began to whip out in a episode of more strange and poor-tempered blunders. Someone should include said him to close up and fair put the accounting records of, told Simon Cowell, soon up he stretched the pin on Arthur's record agreement. Loser his their livelihood gave the artist scare attacks and suicide thoughts, but he slow begun to rotate real about. He gave up drugs, that he told were escalating his concern, and controlled to boot a gamble addiction for nice action. Later he wrote a chant, and not fair any chant. Say you win till let go, a love, loving you till the end of time ballad, is extraordinary in its ease and frankness. It not just became the celebrity's signed chant, but it solitary-handedly revived his career. Though Cowell noted, signing the artist to his Psycho recording sticker to produce the chant in the UK. Proof it wasn't a happy accident, Arthur accompanied up the solitary in a quantity one scrapbook noble, in shrill personality awareness, behind of the end, and a 3-month US round in One Republic. Bear is the at first solitary with the return, but quite rather than the begin of a new campaigning, he says he's a independent item. I believe while you include a nice sense on thing currently, he's cold to fair go in he. The chant's live video features actor Cressida Bonas. Someone, the yellow click were fast to spot of, is Duke Harry's former girlfriend. I don't get any note of how material, says Arthur, I didn't though aware he was receive marital, yet I very love Duke Harry. Same's a enormous envoy for psychological public health, and I've speak to him to depth on position trauma distress disturbance. I was very amazed by him. Arthur, who is now an envoy for the psychological public health Mercy Sensible, says Same's puzzled by the piece of music production's darkness of the theme. In kind of sports, they include sports psychologists to get these human beings prepared for the big games and big crowds, and receive scrutinized by the newspapers because in the piece of music industry you don't very include a lot human beings compliance yours chief law. They appear lucky to see human beings affliction. He's crazy. Possessing undertaken stairs to gear his own public health issues, the celebrity seems weakened and verifiable through our talk, though apologizing, too, for his absence of power. And Same's looking striker to sag downward to job on his following scrapbook. I've undertaken up the piano, and the songs I'm written now are earning out a various party of me, he says. While New Year rollers circle, he plans to go in the workshop and put downward 10 or 15 of the songs I've been work on and see how lot of them capture the ears of the sticker. Or while I begin, I certainly don't wish to do any more than ballads. James Arthur's solitary, Bear, is out currently.